First, we'll learn the crochet technique for the cluster flower section. Take 2 strands. Combine them into one strand. Wrap the yarn around your left pinky, pick up the segment with your index finger, and pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand. I'm using a 3 mm hook. If your tension is tight, you can use a 3.5 mm hook. Move the tip of the hook to the middle of this segment. Wrap the yarn. Create a crossing, then pinch it with your thumb and middle finger. Yarn over and pull the yarn back. This completes the first stitch of the starting chain. Next, we'll crochet 6 chain stitches, yarn over and pull back. Yarn over and pull back. After completing 6 chain stitches, insert the hook into the first stitch of the starting chain. Make a slip stitch. This completes the starting row. Next, we'll crochet the first row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then crochet 15 double crochets, yarn over and insert the hook into the loop of the starting row. Work 1. Yarn over. And work 1. Yarn over again, then work 1 more time to complete a double crochet. Repeat once more. Work 1. Work 1 more. We need to crochet 15 double crochets in total for this row, plus the beginning chain makes 16 stitches. Let's complete all 16 together. Now I've finished all 16 stitches of the first row. Insert the hook into the third chain stitch of the beginning chain. Make a slip stitch. This completes the first round. Work 1 more time, then we can cut the yarn here. Next, we'll crochet the second row of the cluster flower. Insert the hook between the beginning chain and the double crochet of the previous row. Yarn over. Then crochet 3 chain stitches in a row. 1, 2, 3. After completing the 3 chain stitches, we need to crochet 3 double crochets at the same position, where we just made the chain stitches. Make a double crochet. After completing the 3 double crochets, yarn over and skip 2 double crochets from the previous row, then crochet 4 double crochets at this position. Pay attention, leave the yarn tail outside, don't worry about it now. We'll handle the yarn tail later. After completing these 4 double crochets, yarn over, skip 2 double crochets from the previous row, and repeat at this position. Continue crocheting. Crochet 8 groups of 4 double crochets in total. The first double crochet of the first group is replaced by a beginning chain. Note there are 8 groups total, complete them one by one. I've completed the last double crochet of the second round. Next, insert the hook into the third chain of the beginning chain, pick up 2 strands and make a slip stitch. Work 1 more time, then we can cut the yarn for the second round. Now we're working on the third row of the pattern. First, insert the hook into the right side space of the previous row's beginning chain, pick up a loop, then crochet 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Next, crochet 3 more double crochets. including the turning chain, that makes 4 double crochets total. Then, yarn over and crochet 4 double crochets in the next space. Crochet 1 chain stitch, then crochet 4 more double crochets in the same position. Insert the hook into this position again. Crochet 4 double crochets. After completing these 4 double crochets, repeat the same technique in this space. 4 double crochets, 1 chain stitch, then continue crocheting 4 double crochets. Insert the hook into the next space, crochet 4 double crochets, and repeat the previous technique to complete the round. Now I've completed the last double crochet of the third round. Next, insert the hook into the third stitch of the starting chain, make a slip stitch, and work an extra one. We can cut the yarn now, this row is done. Next, we'll work on the fourth row of the cluster pattern. Insert the hook into the right side space of the previous row's beginning chain. Pick up a loop. Then, crochet 3 chain stitches. Yarn over and crochet 3 more double crochets in the same position. Including the turning chain made by 3 chain stitches. We also work 4 double crochets at this position. Insert the hook into the next space, and crochet 4 double crochets. Then insert the hook into the corner position, and crochet 4 double crochets, 1 chain stitch, and 4 double crochets. This group of stitches is exactly the same as the previous row. After completing this corner, insert the hook into the next space, and crochet 4 double crochets. Move the hook to this position and crochet 4 double crochets. Now we've reached the corner position again, still working 4 double crochets, 1 chain stitch, and 4 double crochets. For the rest, continue with the previous technique. Complete this row. Alright, I've completed all the stitches for this row. Next, we'll fasten off this row. Insert the hook into the third chain stitch of the beginning chain. Make a slip stitch, work it twice. For the fourth row, you can cut the yarn now. Now we'll start the fifth row of the cluster flower. Insert the hook into the space next to the beginning chain from the previous row, and pull up a loop. Then crochet 3 chain stitches as the turning chain, and continue the same as the previous row. Crochet 3 double crochets at this position. Move the hook out of this space and crochet 4 double crochets. Insert the hook into the next space, and crochet 4 double crochets. Now we've reached the corner position, still repeating the previous pattern. The crochet technique for this position: 10 double crochets. 1 chain stitch, 4 double crochets. After completing this position, insert the hook into the next space. Crochet 4 double crochets in a row. Following this, repeat the previous technique to complete the entire round. Stop. Now for the 5th row, we've reached the final position the same way. Insert the hook into the 3rd stitch of the beginning chain, make a slip stitch, work it twice, cut the yarn. Our cluster motif is completed. This granny square pattern is made by joining different colors, so after finishing one motif, there will be many yarn tails at the back. We should leave about 6 centimeters for the yarn tail. This length makes it convenient to weave in the ends. Pay attention, this is the starting yarn tail. I pick up a few stitches under the double crochet loop of the starting chain, and weave it in. Pick up a few more stitches. Weave it in. Just trim off the excess part that's sticking out. This is the 2nd row, everyone take a look. There are 2 yarn tails for the 2nd row, red and yellow. We can weave them in as well. Following the double crochet, this loop. Pick up 1 stitch. Then insert the hook into the corner position under these 4 double crochets. Pull the yarn tail over. Then pick up 1 stitch on this double crochet. Then weave it under these 4 double crochet corners. I use this method to weave in the ends. Weave in all the yarn tails we left. Just trim off the excess part directly. The yarn tails for this row are handled the same way. I'll demonstrate again how we weave in the ends on the double crochet. Hide part of it at the top of the head. Weave part of it under the corner of this string of double crochets. Weave in the yarn tails one by one. Once it's long enough, we can cut the yarn. I won't demonstrate the rest completely, use this method to weave in all the ends. Now I've woven in all the ends for this motif, except for the last row. For the last row, when sewing together, you can directly hide the yarn tail under the seam stitches. You can leave this for now, this is the completed motif with all ends woven in. As you can see, the yarn tails are barely visible. After finishing the cluster, measure its dimensions with a ruler. Both the length and width should be around 12 centimeters. It must reach 12 centimeters to match our pattern chart structure. Since this is a patchwork coat, the size requirements for the motifs are quite strict. Even a slight deviation in size can result in a significant difference in the final garment's dimensions. Therefore, we need to keep the clusters around 12 centimeters to achieve the desired final effect. My hands are a bit loose, so I'm using a 3 mm crochet hook. If your hands are tight, you can use a 3.5 mm hook. If they're very loose, try a 2.5 mm hook. You should choose the hook size based entirely on how tight or loose your hands are. However, the final size of your motif should be kept around 12 centimeters to achieve the desired effect. This is an important point to remember during the crocheting process. The crochet method for other clusters is exactly the same as this motif. The only difference lies in the color scheme. Follow the color scheme and quantity specified in the pattern chart to complete all the clusters before moving on to joining them together. Once all motifs are completed, we'll proceed with joining them together. Now, using these 4 motifs as an example, I'll explain the joining method and important notes. First, align all motifs according to their corresponding positions in the pattern chart before sewing them together. Thread your yarn needle and fold the yarn in half. The length should be about 1.5 times the joining edge length. Don't tie a knot here. Just thread through and align properly. Now we can start joining. Take these 2 motifs. Insert the yarn needle through the corner chain stitch of this motif, being mindful to pick up only half of the chain stitch loop. Then insert the hook into the corresponding motif's chain stitch. This half loop, the outer side half loop, which appears as the outer loop when viewing this motif from this side. After picking up, thread through the yarn. Leave about 5-6 cm of yarn tail. Then, insert the needle through half of the double crochet stitch, the outer half loop, which appears as the outer half loop from this side. Place the yarn tail on top while sewing. Continue. Repeat the previous method. Only pick up half loops. Keep the yarn tail on top. This way it will be woven into the middle of our seam. Simply sew stitch to stitch since this entire row consists of double crochets. The yarn tail will be directly woven into the loops of our seam. Stop sewing this row at the corner position. Now I've sewn this piece up to the corner position. Note that I haven't sewn this stitch at the corner yet, because at the corner position, where these 4 motifs meet, this corner should be 1 stitch, so we need to sew 4 stitches together into one. So how do we sew it? When sewing this corner stitch, we also need to bring over the corner from this side. First, pass through this corner stitch, then through our corner stitch. Next, come out through the corner stitch on this side. Then hook this corner stitch as well. This way, 4 stitches are sewn into 1 stitch. There won't be any noticeable gaps at this position. Continue with the previous sewing method. We're still picking up the outer half loops. 1 stitch for 1 stitch. Sew the motifs together. I won't demonstrate the rest, just sew this row properly. Now I've finished this row, and at the end, we can tie a knot here with the yarn needle. Pick up the loop on the sewing thread. Then, tie a knot like this. Push the yarn tail through in the opposite direction. Into this seam is fine. Just hide the yarn tails inside the motifs. Cut the yarn. After finishing this row, we'll sew the next row. Note that the stitching method from the corner to the middle of this row is the same as the previous section, so I won't demonstrate it again, but I'll explain the middle part again because there's a slight difference. This part isn't as easy to sew as the previous sections, so pause here and I'll demonstrate the stitching method for this position. Now I've reached the crossing point of these two rows. Note that we don't stitch through 4 stitches here, just 1. Pick up from the chain stitch at this corner, then pick up on this half side. Also chain stitch. Just thread it through directly. Then we continue following the previous rule. Sew together. Sew this row together as well. For yarn tails on the motifs, we also wrap them into our sewing thread using the same method as before. There aren't obvious chains at this position, so we pick from this spot. Then pick up from this side. Continue from the back. Hide the yarn tail in the middle of the seam. Sew this entire row together. Alright, I've joined these 4 motifs together. Everyone follow this method to join all the motifs. Except for the pocket opening area, we need to leave a portion there. When we encounter this situation, meaning joining one cluster with 3 already joined clusters, we need to connect the straight parts of this edge and this edge. The joining method is no different from here. What matters is the top corner position joining. First, join this edge to the middle position, using the normal method and stop here. Then I'll explain how to handle this middle position. Now I've sewn to the top corner position of these 4 motifs. We still follow the previous sewing method to pick up from this side. Pick up from this side, then pick up this one. Then pick up the stitch at the top corner of this motif. We align these 4 stitches together. Sew 1 stitch. Rotate. Sew this edge. The method is exactly the same as for all other positions. 1 stitch aligned with 1 stitch, sew using the whip stitch. Weave in the ends at the same time. I won't demonstrate this part. Everyone just complete it following the previous sewing method. Now I'll explain the small flowers under the arms. The crochet method for these small flowers is not much different from the regular cluster. The difference is that they only have 3 rows, and the last row must be crocheted with green yarn. Here I used black, red, and green. You can use whatever yarn you have on hand. But remember, the third round must be in green. I won't go into details here. Just crochet 2 of these small flowers, and place them under both arms. We previously crocheted a small flower under the arm. Now we'll attach it to the underarm position. Attach half to the front body, and half to the back body, forming a triangle. Pay attention, don't sew these right angle segments all the way to the top. Leave 3 groups of motifs when attaching this small flower. The attaching method for both sides is exactly the same. Take a close look. Here's the finished effect, shown flat. This is the front body, and this is the sleeve. This is the underarm section, where we'll add a small flower under each arm. For the front, use 2 edges, and for the back, use 2 edges. But don't sew this seam segment all the way to the top, only sew 2 groups of motifs. The same sewing method applies below. We use this technique to fix the underarm corner position. On both sides of the shoulders of this sweater, there are 2 special motifs each. One is a triangle motif, and the other is a trapezoid motif. Adding these 2 motifs ensures a beautiful slope for the shoulders sloping line. Next, I'll explain how to crochet these 2 motifs. Now we'll learn the trapezoid motif for the shoulder. The first 2 rows of the trapezoid motif are exactly the same as the regular pattern. I won't repeat the demonstration. Starting from the 3rd row, here's how it goes. Now we'll work on the 3rd row of the trapezoid motif. Insert your hook into the space next to the beginning chain, then work 1 beginning chain. Then work 3 double crochets. Skip to the next space and work 4 double crochets in a row. Move to the next space and work 4 double crochets again. Repeat the same technique for 2 more groups. Five groups have been completed. Next, work 4 double crochets at this position, 1 chain, 4 double crochets, that's the corner position. Next, work another group of 4 double crochets. Work another corner position technique, 4 double crochets, 1 chain. 4 double crochets. Then insert your hook into the top stitch of the starting 3 chains. Make a slip stitch, work an extra one and break the yarn, the 3rd row is done. For the 4th row of the trapezoid pattern, insert your hook into the space next to the turning chain of the previous row, then work the turning chain for this row. Then work 3 more double crochets in the same position. Insert your hook into the next space, and work 4 double crochets. Insert your hook into the next space for the corner position, that is, 4 double crochets, 1 chain, 4 double crochets. Insert your hook into this space. Similarly, work another group at the corner position. Work 1 chain, then 4 double crochets. Insert your hook into the next space, and work 4 double crochets. Insert your hook into the next space, and work 4 double crochets again. Insert your hook into this corner and work the corner position stitch 4 double crochets, 1 chain, 4 double crochets. We'll work 2 more groups of 4 double crochets. This is the first group. This is the second group. We'll work another 4 double crochets, 1 chain, 4 double crochets at this top corner. After completing this position, connect with the starting turning chain at the top by working a slip stitch, and break the yarn. The 4th row of the trapezoid pattern is done. For the 5th row of the trapezoid pattern, insert your hook into the turning chain of the previous row on the right side space, work 1, then work a group of turning chains, then work 3 double crochets. The starting position is always the same. Insert your hook into this position and work 4 double crochets. Four double crochets here as well. At the top corner pattern position, we still work the corner pattern. Work 4 double crochets at this position. Work the corner pattern, corner pattern. Work 4 double crochets at this position. Then work 4 double crochets. Work another group of 4 double crochets. Work the corner pattern. Chain. Work 4 double crochets. Four double crochets. The second group is 4 double crochets. Third group. Corner pattern. Join with the top of the beginning chain. Work an extra stitch and break the yarn. We're done here. Trapezoid motif. Next, let's learn how to crochet the shoulder triangular motif. The starting chain for the triangular motif is a chain, then work 2 rows. Let's cast on. Pay attention to the first stitch of the starting chain, count it as 1 stitch, and don't pull it too tight. Then, work the second chain stitch. This makes 2 stitches, we'll work a total of 16. Now I've completed the 16 chain stitches. Pinch the 16th chain stitch, then work 3 chain stitches as the turning chain for the first row. Work 3 double crochets consecutively into the 16th stitch of the foundation chain row. Then yarn over and skip 2 stitches in the foundation chain row, work 1 plus 2 double crochets into this stitch. Work 1 plus 2 double crochets into the next adjacent chain stitch. Yarn over and skip 2 chain stitches, work 1 plus 2 half double crochets into this chain stitch. Pull up a loop, now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Pull through all loops. This is 1 plus 2 half double crochets, then yarn over and work another 1 plus 2 half double crochets. Next, skip 1 chain stitch. Work 4 single crochets consecutively into the foundation chain row. This is the first stitch. Second stitch. Third stitch. Fourth stitch. After completing these 4 stitches, work a slip stitch into the first stitch of the foundation chain row. This half side is completed. Next, turn to this side and work the other half. First, chain 1 as beginning chain, then work 4 single crochets into the corner below the previous 4 single crochets. Work 2 1 plus 2 half double crochets into the corner of the 1 plus 2 half double crochets. Work 2 1 plus 2 double crochets into the corner of the 1 plus 2 double crochets. Work a group of 1 plus 4 double crochets into the corner of the 1 plus 4 double crochets. Chain 1 more stitch, then join with the third chain stitch of the starting chain. Make a slip stitch, work an extra one. The first row of the triangle pattern is completed. Now work the second row of the shoulder triangle pattern, insert hook into the top corner position, then chain 2. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Work single crochets into these 2 chain stitches. Work 2 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous row. Yarn over and insert hook into the position where single crochet meets half double crochet. Work 4 half double crochets. Yarn over and insert hook into the space to work 4 double crochets. Move hook to this space and work 4 double crochets. Insert hook into the top corner position, work 4 double crochets, 1 chain, then 4 double crochets. Insert hook. Work 4 double crochets into the middle position of this group. Continue working this half side, this half matches the other half symmetrically. First work the pattern at the top corner position. 4 double crochets. One chain, 4 double crochets. Next, work 4 double crochets here. Then insert hook into this space and continue working 4 double crochets. Insert hook here, where half double crochet meets single crochet, and work 4 half double crochets. Skip 2 single crochets. Make a single crochet in this single crochet. Make another single crochet in the next single crochet. Then work a single crochet into the chain stitch. Work 1 more single crochet. Finally at the top corner position. Join with a slip stitch. Work 1 more and fasten off the yarn. We've completed it. After crocheting the triangle and trapezoid patterns, place them at the corresponding positions on the front and back bodies, and join them together with the patterns on the front and back bodies to create a sloping shoulder. The sewing method is the same as the previous sewing method. We sew them together using the identical technique, and the stitch counts of the patterns perfectly correspond. Now we'll learn the crochet method for the back body neckline half pattern. First, cast on. Then work 6 chain stitches. Join in the round. Work 3 chains as beginning chain, yarn over. Work 7 double crochets. Including the beginning chain replacing 1 double crochet, it should be 8 double crochets. This completes the first row. Now for the second row of the half pattern, insert the hook into the topmost position of the beginning chain from the previous row, and pull up a loop. Then work 3 chains as beginning chain, next 5 stitches inserted. Work 4 double crochets in the position between the chain and double crochet. Yarn over, skip 2 double crochets, work 4 double crochets in this position. Skip 2 stitches. Work 4 double crochets. Skip 2 stitches, work 4 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet in the last double crochet. Work 1 more and fasten off the yarn, completing the second row. Half pattern. For the third row technique, insert the hook into the top of the beginning chain from the previous row. Join the yarn, then work 3 chain stitches as beginning chain and yarn over. Insert the hook between the first and second stitch. Work 1 double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into the next space. Work the corner cluster, this is the first stitch. 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 1 chain stitch, then work 4 double crochets in the same position. Next, continue inserting the hook into the next space. Work 4 double crochets. Then insert the hook into the next space. Work the corner cluster. Work 1 chain stitch, yarn over in the same position, then work 4 double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook between the last 2 double crochets. Work 1 double crochet. Then insert the hook into the top of the last double crochet, and work 1 more double crochet. Work 1 more and fasten off the yarn. Our third row is completed. Now we'll learn the technique for the fourth row. Insert the hook into the top of the previous row's beginning chain to join the yarn, then chain 3 as a beginning chain and yarn over. Work 4 double crochets in this space. Work the corner cluster at this top corner position. Work 4 double crochets. Work 4 double crochets again. Work on the corner cluster. Corner cluster. Chain. Work 4 double crochets in this space. Insert the hook into the last double crochet, and work 1 more double crochet. Work 1 more and fasten off the yarn. The 4th row is completed. Now we'll crochet the 5th row for half a flower. Insert the hook into the top of the beginning chain to join the yarn, then chain 3, yarn over, and work 1 double crochet between the beginning chain and the double crochet. Yarn over, we work 4 double crochets in this space. Insert the hook into the corner cluster, and work a corner cluster. Work 1 group of 4 double crochets in each of the next 3 consecutive spaces. Now we've reached the corner position again, continue working the corner cluster. Work in this space. 4 double crochets. We work 1 double crochet in this space. Then work 1 more double crochet at the top of the double crochet. Work 1 more and fasten off the yarn. The single motif is completed. We can leave this yarn tail a bit longer for sewing the half flower motif. Due to joining the shoulder slope motif, there will be a gap in the middle of the back neck opening on the back body. We need to attach this crocheted half flower motif to this position to fill the gap. Thread the needle with the yarn segment we left. Note that I'm referring to the starting point position. First, the starting point is at the middle of the widest side of this trapezoid motif. This is the side of the motif. Starting from this side, the second stitch is the starting point position, and this side we're connecting is the last stitch of our motif. Sewing together. The joining method is no different from other joining methods. The reason I'm explaining this is to help everyone understand the specific joining position and starting point position. For the other parts, we'll attach the half flower motif to the back neck opening using the normal joining method. Now I've sewn this half flower motif to the neck opening position, and it ends at the second double crochet stitch of the motif. We'll hide the yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. Once all the motifs of the garment are joined together, we'll work on the hem of the garment. From the right side. Starting from the corner of the front band, work a row of single crochets. Work a row of single crochets along the hem. Okay, insert the hook into the chain stitch position at this corner to join the yarn, make a beginning chain, then work another single crochet in the same position. Work a single crochet in each double crochet. Also work single crochets in the chain stitches. We'll work a total of 22 single crochets per motif. finish crocheting the bottom edge of the hem. After completing the first motif, continue with the second motif, and keep going until all motifs are completed. I've worked the single crochets along the bottom edge in order. At the corner position of the other side's front band, work one more single crochet, and now the single crochet section is finished. Next, we'll work the ribbing section, for the front band and neckline. First, place the yarn loop onto the straight needle. This is where we begin. Next, pick up and knit a knit stitch in the corner stitch. Then, pick up and knit a knit stitch in the double crochet. Bring the yarn to the front and pick up a purl stitch in the next double crochet. Pick up another purl stitch. We'll follow the lace trim's double crochets and chain stitches accordingly. Work 2 knits and 2 purls in each stitch. Next are 2 knit stitches. Then 2 purl stitches. Pay attention to this purl stitch. We pick it up at this position. Work 2 more knit stitches. 2 purl stitches. 2 knit stitches. 2 purl stitches. 2 knit stitches. 2 purl stitches. 2 knit stitches. We pick up 22 stitches per motif. Alright, this motif is complete. Now we continue with the previous stitch pattern. The starting position of this motif is a purl stitch. We work 2 purl stitches. 2 knit stitches. Work 2 more purl stitches. Following this pattern, we pick up all the motifs for this row until we reach the trapezoid motif at the neckline. Now I've picked up to the trapezoid motif position, which is the shoulder area. This trapezoid motif at the shoulder is half part of the back body, and half part of the front body. For the front body, we still have half of the stitches left. We'll pick up and knit 11 stitches for this half. Although we're picking up and knitting 11 stitches, we need to change our stitch pattern here. We'll work 2 knits and 1 purl. First work 2 knit stitches. Then work 1 purl stitch. Work 2 more knit stitches. One purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. 1 purl stitch. 2 more knit stitches here. Now we've reached the joining position, where we also need to pick up 1 stitch as a transition. At this position, pick up 1 purl stitch. Now we've turned to the back half section. Next, we'll pick up and knit the half motif for the back neck opening. This half motif requires picking up 2 stitches per row, totaling 20 stitches. Pay attention, the stitch pattern is 2 knits, 1 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. First, we need to pick up 2 knit stitches. Next, we'll pick up a purl stitch. Then pick up 2 more knit stitches. Pick up 2 stitches on each double crochet or beginning chain. Pick up 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. Pick up 1 purl stitch. 1 knit stitch. We pick up and knit to this side, then 1 more knit stitch. Then 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. One purl stitch. 1 knit stitch. Another knit stitch. Pick up 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. I finished picking the back body pattern. Next, we'll continue picking the remaining half of the trapezoid pattern. First, we're at this junction position. Pick up 1 purl stitch. Then pick up 2 knit stitches here. Pick up 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. 1 purl stitch. 2 knit stitches. I've finished all the special positions. Next, we'll pick the other motifs according to the normal motif positions on the other side. The remaining pattern is pick 2 purls and 2 knits, with 22 stitches per motif. Now I've reached the last 2 stitches of the front band ribbing. Here's 1 stitch, and 1 more knit stitch on the corner motif. Pay attention, I'm picking up 1 more knit stitch on the single crochet, which is the edge stitch. We've finished picking up the ribbing for the front band. Now we'll start knitting this ribbed edge. Slip the first stitch without knitting. The knit stitches on the wrong side are actually purl stitches, so we knit 2 purl stitches. Then 2 knits. 2 purls. 2 knits. 2 purls. When we knit to the shoulder and back neck, opening position from the wrong side, stop and I'll explain how to handle that area. Now I've reached the section of the shoulder and back neck opening. On this section, we picked up 2 knits and 1 purl from the right side, so from the wrong side it looks like 2 purls and 1 knit. First, we need to knit 2 purls. Pay attention, we need to increase 1 stitch at this position below. For the first stitch, we know we knit one below at this position, then we knit another one on the stitch itself. Then knit 2 more purls. Then knit 1 increase to make 2 stitches from 1, this is the first stitch. Second stitch. Okay, then we knit 2 more purls. This is how we knit this section. Increase every knit stitch we see on this side to make 2 stitches. I've finished the special parts for the shoulders and back neck opening, now we'll continue with 2 knits and 2 purls. Complete the second row. Okay, we've finished the second row from the wrong side, now we'll knit the third row from the right side. Slip the first stitch without knitting. Then we knit 2 knit stitches. 2 purl stitches, this is the regular single rib now. The section for shoulders and back neck opening has also become 2 knits and 2 purls, so we'll continue knitting upward this way. Knit until reaching the height shown in the chart. For the second row of the front band section, I've now reached the last 3 stitches, these 2 are knit stitches. The last stitch, we'll knit as a purl. This is an edge stitch. Turn over. Next we'll knit. Third row, right side, the first stitch is a slip stitch. Then we do 2 knits. 2 purls. 2 knits. 2 purls, this is the basic way to knit double rib. After this, we'll continue this pattern until the front band reaches the corresponding height. Okay, now I've reached the last 3 stitches of the third row. These 2 stitches are knits, and for the last stitch, we knit it as a knit stitch. Turn over. Starting from the wrong side again. For the first stitch of the fourth row, we slip it without knitting, then continue with 2 purl stitches. 2 knit stitches. After this, we'll repeat this process until the ribbing reaches the height shown in the chart. When the ribbing on the front band and neckline reaches the corresponding height, we'll begin binding off the ribbing. Let me explain how to bind off ribbing. First, we have an edge stitch. For binding off 2 times 2 ribbing, whenever you encounter a stitch, you knit the opposite stitch. For example, if it's a knit stitch, you purl it, if it's a purl stitch, you knit it. For double ribbing, we first convert it to single ribbing before binding off. For the first stitch, we slip it without knitting because the second stitch is a knit stitch, so we purl it. Then we move the edge stitch to the stitch we just knitted. Next, we place the loop we've knitted back onto the left needle, and bring the yarn to the back. Then we place this loop back onto the right needle. Next comes another knit stitch, which we need to purl, so we swap its position with the following purl stitch, knit stitch in front, purl stitch behind. Then place it back on the left needle, and next we'll knit a stitch. Then we move this loop to this side. Next, we place the knitted loop onto the left needle, bring the yarn to the front and pick it back onto the right needle. Next, since it's a knit stitch, we purl it. Then we bring the previous loop over. Next is a purl stitch, so we knit it. First place the loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the back. Then knit. Then bring it over. Place the knitted loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the front. Then purl. Move this stitch over. Repeat the previous method. Place the loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the back. Place the loop back on the right needle. Swap the positions of these two stitches. Knit. Bring the previous loop over. Place the knitted loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the front. Purl. Bring the knitted loop over. Place the yarn back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the back. Knit. Bring this loop over. Now continue binding off. Place the knitted loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the front. Purl. Bring the knitted loop over. Place the loop back on the left needle, and bring the yarn to the back. Now these two stitches need to swap positions. When we encounter identical positions, swap these two stitches. Then follow the rule: purl when you see a knit stitch, knit when you see a purl stitch for binding off. We'll sequentially bind off this row. Okay, now I've bound off the rib edge to the last few stitches, and this position still needs to be purled. Then take the previous stitch and bring it over the newly knitted stitch. Next, we need to swap positions again. Then knit. Bring this stitch over, and purl the last stitch. Now we can cut the yarn. The rib edge is bound off. Now I'll explain how to knit the cuffs. Note that the starting position for the cuffs must correspond. At this underarm position, we begin casting on from this motif. I'm also using size 9 straight needles, 3.75 mm needles. The picking up stitches for each motif is the same as for the front band position, picking up 22 stitches per motif. We'll sequentially pick up stitches, also picking up and knitting. 2 purls, 2 purls. First stitch knit, second stitch knit. Third stitch purl. Fourth stitch purl. Knit. Knit. Purl. Circular needles can be used. Short circular needles or 4 straight needles can also be used. We'll sequentially pick up all the stitches from the motifs. I won't demonstrate the picking up part in detail here, just follow, 22 stitches per pattern. Now I've completed picking up all the stitches in the round. Next, we'll knit the cuffs in the round. This differs from the front band, which is worked back and forth. Here, we work in the round, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. I won't demonstrate the rest, just follow this pattern until you reach the required number of rows, then stop. When the cuff's 2x2 ribbing reaches the corresponding height, we'll bind off the cuff ribbing. The cuff ribbing starts with 2 knit stitches, which differs slightly from the front band's starting stitches, so the binding off process will vary a bit. And since the cuff is worked in the round, I'll briefly explain how to bind off in this case. First, the first 2 stitches are knit, so for the stitch we're about to work, the yarn should be in front. We slip the first stitch, purl the second stitch, then lift the first stitch over the second stitch onto the finished stitch. Next comes a purl stitch, and we need to knit the next one, so we move the yarn to the wrong side of the fabric. First, transfer the loop to the left-hand needle, then bring it to the wrong side of the fabric, and knit the stitch. Then slip the stitch you just worked. Next, we continue with the following stitch. We should knit, but since it's a purl stitch, we need to swap positions with the next knit stitch. After swapping positions, we proceed to knit. First, put the loop back on the left-hand needle with the yarn in front. Then purl the stitch. Flip the fabric over. Next, we move the yarn to the back again. Knit the stitch. Then bring the yarn to the front. Purl the stitch. We repeat the previous method. Knit the stitch. Bring the yarn to the front. Swap positions. Purl the stitch. Knit the stitch. Follow this pattern to finish the round. Now I've reached the last stitch of the cuff's double ribbing, which is a purl stitch. It should swap with the next stitch, but there's no stitch left to swap with. This position should be purled, so we'll still purl this stitch. Next, pick up this stitch again, starting with the first stitch. Pull this stitch over. Knit another stitch. Join the ends together, bind off with extra stitches, then cut the yarn. Knit a few more rows before cutting the yarn. Leave the yarn tail at the cuff longer since our sleeves are folded up. After turning the fabric over, use this yarn tail to secure this position, the cuff slightly to hold it folded up. I won't demonstrate this part, just secure it with a yarn needle. Next, we'll knit the pocket section. During the motif sewing process, we left a seam on both the left and right front panels. This seam is where we reserved space for the pocket. We'll follow this edge and knit 2x2 ribbing upward to form the pocket edge. Follow this edge and knit downward in knit stitch to create the pocket. Now we'll start knitting the pocket, beginning with the pocket edge, which is the ribbing section. First, leave a longer yarn tail here since this tail will be used for sewing the pocket later. Okay, we'll start picking up stitches from this corner seam, where the sewing began. Pick up knit stitch. For the second stitch, also pick up knit stitch. For the third stitch, pick up purlwise. The stitch technique for picking up is the same as the stitch pattern at this position. We'll pick up 2 by 2 ribbing sequentially, picking up 1 stitch for each stitch. Knit this row completely. Okay, I finished picking up the ribbing for this pocket section. Now we'll proceed with knitting. When knitting the front band edge, we slip the first stitch without knitting it. Note that since the pocket edge will be sewn next to it, we'd better knit the first stitch so the holes will be smaller when sewing. So I'll knit the first stitch as purl, which becomes knit from the wrong side, then 2 purl 2, knit, continuing the 2 by 2 ribbing pattern. After this, we'll follow the 2 by 2 ribbing technique to complete the pocket knitting. I'll knit 12 rows for the pocket edge. You can adjust the height according to your preference. I won't demonstrate this part in detail. Everyone, finish knitting the 2 by 2 ribbing for the pocket. Now I've knitted enough rows for the ribbed edge of the pocket section. Next, we'll bind off. This binding off technique is similar to the one used for the cuffs. Slip the first stitch without knitting, then knit the second stitch purlwise. Drop the first stitch over the second stitch, then bring the yarn to the back. Knit a knit stitch and pull it through. Then bring the yarn to the front, and swap the positions of these 2 stitches. Knit a knit stitch first. Knit a purl stitch over the knit stitch, then pull it through, and bring the yarn to the back. Knit another knit stitch and pull it through. Bring the yarn to the front again and knit a purl stitch. Repeat this stitch pattern consistently. The ribbed edge is bound off. After finishing the ribbed edge of the cuff, we'll cut the yarn. Leave this yarn tail a bit longer since we'll need it for sewing later. Now I'll explain how to knit the pocket section. For the pocket section, we'll knit downward from this edge, top-down knitting. Note, first, leave a yarn segment. Make this yarn tail longer. We'll use it as the sewing thread for the pocket, so leave about 1 meter, that should be enough. Then, starting from this position, begin picking up stitches. I'm picking up all knit stitches here. Pick up 1 stitch corresponding to each stitch on the motif. We're still using size 9 needles, 3.75 mm. After picking up, we knit a full knit stitch pocket. I've now knitted the pocket to the required height. Next, we'll bind off. Slip the first stitch, knit the second stitch, then pass the first stitch over. Knit the third stitch, pass the previous stitch over, and repeat this sequence. We'll bind off this small pocket section. After binding off the pocket, enlarge the loop and cut the yarn. Sew the pocket to its corresponding position. Once the pocket is done, use a stitch marker to secure it in place first. Thread the previously saved yarn tail onto a darning needle to sew the pocket onto the motif. After aligning, pick it up. Sew it together using a sewing needle. Use the same stitch technique as sewing motifs. Sew the pocket onto the garment. I won't demonstrate this part in detail. This technique is very simple. Make sure to sew all edges of the pocket to their corresponding positions. This is how it looks after sewing the pocket. This is the inside pocket, right side. This is how it looks. Now sew both sides together. After sewing, it looks like this. As you can see, this is the pocket after sewing. This is how my sewn pocket looks. The two sides of the pocket edge are sewn together. The wrong side of the pocket has 3 edges sewn, except for the top edge, which remains open. All other 3 edges need to be sewn. After sewing, it looks like this.